7 o'clock, start streaming. Go live. I actually even got theme music ready and cued. On top of it today, Evan.
You could do it.
Oh, shit. It's that time. It's Al from D-Town&Chili442 Show. Episode 59. Look at that, Evan. I got that in first 3 minutes of the show. Kind of proud of myself.
You remember it even is a good thing.
I know. I'm kind of proud of myself. I don't know what these frame rates are doing, but at least they ain't dropping. They're kind of shooting up. So it's not man, this internet's kind of been, I don't know, it's been a little iffy today. I don't know why we do that either. Because I pay for extra, a little extra oomph on my internet, doing these live shows and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It was funny earlier. I walked in. We had a pretty good Thanksgiving show. And then Friday, I worked Thursday. And then on Friday, I got done pretty early. So I'm thinking, you know what? Hopefully all that Black Friday crap got done early. I'll swing it. I'm out of dog treats in the garbage truck. Okay, so I was going to swing into Farm and Fleet. No way. Dude, every parking lot spot was taken. They were parked on the sides. They were even parking over at the bar across the street and walking over. So I said, no, I'll get them some other time.
Yeah.
So I thought about Rural King, and I was like, maybe I'll run out there. Well, I just happened to notice that Kroger's was almost completely empty. There was like 5 cars in the parking lot. So I was like, I did a Yui. I went and did my grocery shopping.
Nice.
Now, when I was doing my grocery shopping, I wanted a bag of raw shrimp. I wanted to do shrimp tacos. So I got everything I need to make like homemade pico and stuff like that. I wanted to do guacamole, and they didn't have any avocados, which I was very disappointed. Because I make some killer guacamole, man.
Yeah.
Killer.
We got all the avocado here. She ordered all her stuff from Kroger's, and she ordered 4 of them, and they gave her 4 bundles of 4.
Oh, so, shit.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Well, they did me no good. Well, you probably bought them out.
Yep.
Shit, they probably had to ship that, from Decatur to fill your order.
Yep,
So
I had to go to other stores just to fill the order.
So anyway, I walk over in the seafood section, and I sit there and I said, that looks like a security tag. And it sure the hell was. They got crab legs for $17.99 a pound, and they got boxes that are 2 pounds. So they're, $32, whatever. People have been stealing these so much they had to put security tags on them.
It's unfortunate but true. And yeah, that's not the first place. I've heard of that before.
Well,
It's
that's
getting to
why.
be common. I mean,
Well,
that's why we lost our Krogers because
yeah,
of theft.
yeah, that's why they say they shut down the Krogers on the West End. I'm sorry, man. I think as a society, we need to get to where we can have some armed, and I'm not talking about with guns. Don't shoot them and kill them. But like with them pepper ball guns and bean bags and tasers and shit like that, man. Let it be known that us hardworking people that go and pay for our food, we're tired of having to pay more because they say like on steaks and shit, $5-6 of that is because of people that have stolen shit. Which I don't know.
Well, that Kroger's over there. I can't remember what they said they were losing a day, but I was like, "Is really? Then what are they taking in a day?" It was one of those figures.
Well, and you got to think that was kind of over where, I hate to say it, there was some ghetto around there. So I could kind of see it.
Yeah, big time.
You got a lot of lower income people going in there, and when they use when they use their card and everything, Kroger's ain't getting that money right away. It's not like a debit card. They get a check. I don't know if it's quarterly or how it is monthly or whatever, but the government will send Kroger's a check for whatever that final bill is on that, or the state or whatever, for like food stamps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they take their time too.
Oh yeah, they do. They take their time doing everything. But yeah, so then I ended up. So I said no to the. I went, did my grocery shopping. 3 bags, I think it was like $56, something like that. And I ain't getting nothing fancy, man. I ain't getting nothing fancy. No caviar. No Dom P. I don't even know if they make Dom Perignon anymore. That stuff is horrible. For as much money as that shit is a bottle, Dom Perignon is horrible champagne. I would rather have Asti Spumante.
Some cold duck or whatever that stuff is.
I would rather have that shit than I would that Dom Perignon. And I've had it. I stole 2. I broke 2 bottles at the liquor warehouse that I worked at, so I wrote them down as breakage. And they just happened to end up in my car. And it was Valentine's Day, and I impressed the chick I was with by, boom, I got 2 bottles of Dom P, baby. And I took a drink of that, and I was like, bleh.
I got you 2 bottles.
Yeah, here you go. You drink that up. Yeah, that shit was horrible, man. Horrible. So I end up going, and I ran to Walmart, and I think I told that story yesterday on the. Did you watch the preview show? Okay. Yes. Well, the old lady, so I had to go. I forgot dog treats when I was in there, and they sell the big box of milk bones. And it costs about $14, but it lasts. It's like a 10-pound box. And it fits ideally on my floorboard in between the seat and the dash. So I go in, I buy that, and I thought, man, I'm going to walk back there and see if they got that plant food. See if that old lady wasn't just lying to me. So I sit there and I go back, and there's a manager guy back there, and he's kind of, they're still putting a lot of some Christmas stuff out. A lot of it's been out, but they were putting some more out. And I asked him, and he said the same thing. He goes, yeah, I think they put that up. And I was like, why? It's indoor plant food. I was like, what? I was like, I don't see why you guys can't put it over there with the pool chemicals that you keep out all year, because people have spas and shit like that.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea. I'll have it out by next week. So I got enough
Sure you were.
yeah, I got enough to get me through. Next week I'm gonna need some. I'm going in. I know this dude's name. If he don't have it, I'm not gonna really do anything. But I'm gonna be very disappointed in Melvin. I'll just tell you that.
That's funny.
I ain't gonna do shit, but yeah, so I went in, I got my dog treats, and man, I just hate Walmart, dude. I just hate it.
I don't go there, and I don't go anywhere really unless I really have to on the weekends. This is just in my normal life, not right now because, what's going on with me, but it's just a policy in my life is get your grocery shopping done before the weekend. If you need to go out to Lowe's or Menards or whatever, go during the week after you get off work, get all your stuff so you don't have to deal with Saturday crowds, people, man. That's just the way I am. It's like
Yeah.
I'd rather do my grocery shopping at 4 a.m.
Well, and I'm the same way, but you can't even do that here anymore because they close at 11. You cannot find shit open in this. I feel sorry for the people that work like third shifts and shit like that. And, that are usually on the weekends, they're up because, shit, man, it wasn't even, a couple years ago, you could go to, Walmart at 3 in the morning if you wanted.
Yeah. I've gone into Kroger's, worked like third shift and got there like 10 after 6, and it's like, I'm really not I walked in, but I'm not sure they're really open. Are they? There's nobody here, It's like, I'm going to do my thing, Maybe I got here too early.
And I was so anti-Walmart for the reason that you're seeing now, because customer service is a thing of the past. Your mom and pop stores, and I don't know why I started thinking about this, but when I walked out of Walmart, I thought, man, I looked at all the employees in there. I was like, man, they probably spend, let's say, 30% of their check back into Walmart. I'm sitting there thinking of all the money that the two Walmarts in Decatur bring in monthly. That's going to, and I guarantee you, if you break it down, what do you think? I think for the building, everything like that, maybe with because they ain't paying their employees shit. So what, 40% stays around here and the other 60 is gone, to some billionaire.
I wouldn't think that much. There's corporate office and all that jazz. Corporate Walmart yeah. That's the problem I have. There's a company that shorts their employees on hours, so that they can get by and not have to pay health care or provide health care. And then they have seminars for their employees on how to get free health care from the system. It's like,
through the government.
You have 3 of the Waltons are in like the top 10 richest people in the United States. Yeah. 3 of them are fucking Waltons, and so it's sad how they bleed everything, and they provide jobs, but it's kind of like Amazon, but they take away a lot of jobs too. Look at all the other mom and pop and little stores. Like retail in Peoria area, it's crazy. Like they've lost so many of their big stores. They're just slowly shutting down. It's nuts.
Yeah, but see, and here's the problem. Eventually, I hope, and when you get these big corporations like Walmart, part of the reason the mom and pop stores can't compete with them is because they got so much goddamn money that they can overpay on some things, lose a profit, and then gain it on something else. Mom and pop place can't really do that. No. They're going to give it to you at the best price they can. And they're going to have to bump it up a little, but you can't compete with a billionaire that's buying up like semi-loads when you're buying up a truckload.
Well, Walmart, I think Sears was guilty of the same thing years ago, but they have so much buying power when you're buying so much from one company per year. Then you have so much power and you demand a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was, I think it was Rubbermaid that Walmart about ran them out of business because they're just like cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. Now, I think Sears used to do this kind of shit years ago with they would outsource to like their appliance companies. And then it's like, okay, we need, 50,000 this year. Now we need, so many thousand next year. And they keep increasing it. And then they just demand a cheaper price. And then they end up buying them out, and it was like, man, that's really dirty kind of,
It
how they
is.
do it. But the mom and pop stores can't buy it. They don't
No.
buy it the volume and they don't have the buying power, to compete at that level. So after a while, it's, unless you're in the right location, you can't
Right.
compete on price. You compete on location and,
And I remember when that Walmart was, when everybody said, "Oh, we're getting a Walmart," and they were excited, and I was like, "We don't need a Walmart. You had a mom and pop's place for everything: shoes, windows, stereo equipment, and most of that money stayed local."
hmm
And when that big corporation came in, I was like, then you just saw the mom and pop stores. They just, one by one fell by the wayside.
oh yeah, and your Best Buys and all that stuff don't help. Those are big volume, big box stores, and they put out your little Team Electronics and your,
Yeah.
CV Lloyd's and all your different little places. Man, they just, can't compete at that level. They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I almost feel like I miss that. And I guess if you weren't alive and, and doing any shopping in the 80s and 90s, you really didn't see it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it's cool to be able to go to a stereo store years ago, and that's all they really sold was just stereo stuff,
man,
and some TVs, but you could listen to different sets of speakers, and I think that's pretty much a thing of the past. I
Re-
don't know.
Rex Audio was the bee's knees.
That's it, Rex. Yeah.
You go in there and I bought me a. They let you do layaway there. I bought one of the first CD players ever produced. It was a Mitsubishi single
Uh-huh.
disc CD changer. I paid $630 for it.
Whoo.
And you could hardly get CDs. Camelot Music, their CD selection was probably 4 foot. And you know how it was layered,
Yeah.
so it had maybe 6 levels, but it was only like 4 foot wide. The rest of it was, cassettes and vinyl. And
Yeah, I
then,
remember the days.
yeah, then we just saw vinyl just start disappearing. The sections start getting smaller, and then the CDs blew up.
Yeah. And then cassettes slowly went away. And
Yeah,
when I moved 3.5 years ago, I had three stack of those 3 drawer cassette things. And I don't know, each drawer holds like 10 or 11.
yeah,
So you do the math, there's times 9. And I was like full of tapes almost. And I was like, you know what? I kind of opened each drawer real quick, glanced through them. Like, if there's anything really I got to hold on to, if not, that was right into a dumpster. I'm like, who wants this stuff? Am I
yeah.
going to haul it around? Am I going to listen to these again?
Man,
No.
I remember one of the first cars I got. The first thing I went and bought with my check after I got my car was I went to Kmart and they had this. It almost looked like a cooler, but it was for cassette tapes, and it held 45 on each side, and I had that thing packed. And I went and bought another one, had that half full. And man, that's how we picked our music back then, man.
Oh, yeah.
At a
Yeah.
stoplight, people honking at you because you're,
Changing tapes.
hold on, I'm trying to find Winger.
We were DJs back then. We were drivers
We,
and
we
DJs.
were.
Now you just pull up your iPod and program it in. No, we were. Yeah, I still have at arm's length almost. I have a CD binder, that held, 50
Oh,
CDs, and I'd
yeah.
be flipping through it at intersections. And
It's weird. We saw this. We are going to be one of the first generations. Well, maybe not, because cassettes. But cassettes just, they kind of got hot in the 70s, didn't they? When was
Yeah,
it?
they started. It was like, yeah, late 70s, early 80s was the cassette era. Before that, 8 tracks was big up until like the
Yeah.
mid, but that was so bulky. It was mostly, I don't know. I think
When did the cassette tape originate? Okay, hold on. I was looking at greyhounds earlier, man. Not the bus, the dog.
Oh,
Hold
gotcha.
on. When did cassettes come out? 1963 at the Berlin Radio Show.
Yeah, but they weren't really popular until like mid 70s, people doing recording. Because before that, we even had a reel to reel. My parents had a reel to reel player
Yep.
in one of those wood consoles. Oh, and I screwed up. But anyway, I mean, who the hell used this thing? I tore the thing apart, took the fan motor out of it, took all the wiring. That's what I did when I was young. I just took everything apart and, junked the whole thing out, which is probably worth some money today. But when we bought this house almost 4 years ago, walking through this garage, which is kind of large, in the corner of the garage was a whole rack stereo. And I don't know what amp there was, but there was a turntable and a reel to reel. And there were, just some stuff left in this garage. I think there was a Monte Carlo. They hadn't moved everything out there, but mostly everything in the garage was empty. So anyway, when we did the final, closing, they're like, "Is there anything you want, to keep?" And we named, some things. And I should have mentioned that stereo because I think they probably did want to take it with them. That's why it was still in the house.
Right.
I could have had me a reel to reel again after all
Man.
these years.
Here's this. They came out in 1962. They were Philips released the invention to Europe at the Berlin Radio Show on August 30th, 1963. The invention was released in the United States in November of the next year. So 1964. But then I read this too. I thought this was pretty neat. The fastest growing home entertainment product in history was what for $1, Evan?
The VCR.
No, it was the CD.
Really?
Sales overtook vinyl in 1988 and cassettes in 1991.
Okay, I got you.
So, yeah, it's and now nobody has CDs.
Oh, I do. I still have them.
Well, I mean, most cars don't even have CD players.
That's true. My truck has one, and unfortunately, to get the CD back out, you have to disconnect the battery and then hook the battery back up, and it'll chuck it out. Other than that, that's the only way to change it. I was so happy to have a working CD player again. Yeah, you're right. I don't think the other cars do have CDs. I know the Spark doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe her car. I think her Flex does have a CD slot. We never use it.
Right.
We play through our phones and everything.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't be driving no, 84 Escort and say, "Hey, I got a CD player." I remember.
Yeah, my truck's a 2003.
What was the first car you put a system in? And what system was it? Was it cassette, CD, what?
Oh, well, my 68, when I turned 16, it had the factory AM FM radio. It had one speaker in the dash and had one in the rear. That was the stereo option. It was actually two speakers, one in the front and one. And my dad took it to one of those like Team Electronics from my 16th birthday and put a cassette player in and a pair of 6x9s in the back.
Oh, shit.
And then me and him cut the doors, and we put 6.5s in the doors. So that was, and then later on, I added one of those little under the dash boosters, which, made it louder and a lot more distorted, but, little 5-band EQ, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I had that in high school, but like once I got out of college, that car was in the body shop in pieces, and I bought that Mitsubishi. I think you remember that beige Mitsubishi I
Yeah,
had,
yeah. Oh,
and
that thing
that
had a
one, that
knocking system.
yeah, I had a system I built with two tens in the trunk, and I had two amps, and the fronts were like studio monitors, and that car was really really tight and quiet. So that was a cool system. I built that system for like $1,500 back then with a brand new CD in the dash with another changer underneath the passenger seat. I could reach underneath, from behind underneath and grab this thing out, and I had a six stack in there, and slide it back underneath. And I thought that was pretty stealth. But anyway, I built that system. I built the box and all that and to fit right in the trunk, right in the back, and that thing, it was tight. It wasn't a wrap, slam machine, but that you play some metal and stuff, you feel your hair move. You know what I mean? Your pant legs vibrate. I mean,
Yeah.
that car was tight. It was really surprised people how loud it was and how clean it was. I mean, I think one of the amps was Philips Sound Lab. I mean, who had ever heard of those? But I'd come
Yeah.
across weird buys, just
Right.
wandering around in different little stereo shops and shit.
Right. Um, my very first car I bought off my one of my grandma's good friends that quit driving. She had a Pontiac T1000. Looked just like a Chevette, except I had leather seats, power seats. The windows were power, and it was a hatchback. It was a four-door hatchback. It was kind of long. It almost looked like damn near like a station wagon. And I went the first day I got it, I got paid. And I went straight out to Kmart and I bought me a Jensen cassette player, the amp, and then they didn't have it in, but they had a Jensen EQ at that time. So they didn't have that, so I went to Radio Shack and got the realistic, the EQ and everything. I had an 8 and a 10 that a buddy gave me. Well, I blew them both. So I was never home once I got my car. I was always running around. So I ended up dropping the back seat and putting them 15-inch Sherwin Vegas in the back of this sumbitch. And I'm going to tell you what, man, we'd pull up on El Dorado. We'd pop my hatchback. Sometimes I had enough speaker wire where we could pull them out and set them out in a parking lot and just have that parking lot bumping.
Sherwin Vegas, like they weren't known to be totally accurate, but they were freaking loud speakers.
Loud.
They were good and they were loud. They were very efficient. They were loud.
Yeah, I loved my
Good,
Vegas.
good stuff.
I was looking at him the other day, because I'm getting at that age where I remember stuff like that, and I'm like, man. I tried to find a pair the other day, and I was like, nah.
Did they have like pink or orange?
Orange.
Woofers?
They had the orange cone and the black around the woofer.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. Yep.
Yeah, and I had that double bass one. Oh, them suckers. Well, I tell you what, the first time we put them in, I had actually rattled the hinges from the glass in the back because my hatchback was one of those that you could lift the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually almost rattled both the pins out.
Nice.
So, but man, that was always a good time, man. Cruising Eldo, I'll just, man.
Yeah,
that was
but it's so funny now how I'm not against it, but hey, when you're on the road, fine. But the girlfriend's sister was visiting on her way from through, and one of her whole boyfriends came up, and I heard bumping, and I'm like, I never hear anything up here, and
right.
and I'm like, what is that all about? Oh, it's Jason, and so I'm like, dude, stop, and then next time he showed up, same thing. I'm like, no, you hit the bottom of the hill, you shut your shit off, we don't need that around here, and it's funny how you turn into the old man. But, I don't go over to his house and, crank up my car with open headers,
Yeah, you know
in
what?
front of his house.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of the same way, man. I really am. I'm like, okay. And especially if you're a certain age, it's cool to do. You do that shit in your 20s, even into your 30s. I can see once you get, I don't know, I'd say over 45. I think you just look like that weird old guy trying to keep his youth. You know what I mean?
Uh, yeah, and well, yeah, grow up. No, it's
And,
lost my train of thought on it.
well, and there was a guy, and I don't know if you remember this dude, but he drove this red convertible all around the West End. And it doesn't even matter what music, because this dude played Frank Sinatra. But he just, it was kind of like it's way too loud. He's singing along. It was like, wow, what a douche canoe.
No, to me, just it's negative attention from the neighbors. This dude pulls up and he's in my driveway, and he can't just pull up and shut it off. He's got to sit out there for 30 seconds in my driveway, rattling, my windows.
Well, the hook's getting ready to drop, Evan.
And I'm like, you know what? Is that okay? Is it a big deal? No. Is it negative attention from my neighbors? Probably not, but possibly. And is he being an inconsiderate bastard? Kind of.
Yeah.
And it's like birds of a feather flock together. It's like, I don't want to be associated with. I just don't want that negative attention. But on the other hand, I feel like that crotchety old man, turn your music down.
Right.
But we've lived here for 3.5 years, and I've only heard a booming stereo twice, and it was him.
Yeah, and you don't want your neighbors to hear that shit, man.
No, no, no. Just don't
So,
need it.
uh, we do got a couple news stories, Evan. Not too many. Get oddball 6 foot lobster Mickey statue returns to Boston. I'm gonna hurry up and read some of this, but before I do, I'm gonna throw this up there because this is very fucking disturbing. It's a Mickey Mouse, Evan. 6 foot tall Mickey Mouse with lobster claws.
What?
I
Why?
I don't know, and it
We're not
doesn't.
even trying anymore.
No, it's actually. This is something. Hold on, let me get back to it real quick. I just had to show it. It's
This
on
is
it.
a knockoff.
No, the 700-pound statue was last seen in the city nearly 2 decades ago at a Quincy market where it entertained tourists and shoppers before slipping out of sight and into city lore after it was sold in 2005 at an auction organized by Disney.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, you can't really make anything and sell it, unless Disney's like, they give you the okay.
Oh yeah, big business.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Disney because um, not
I
just
don't think people realize how big Disney is. I mean, they own one of your major news stations. I mean, it's not just a little theme park or two, and a little production company.
oh man, not just fast food. Baby comes quickly at Atlanta McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, they're naming it McNugget or Nugget.
Yes, they nicknamed the baby Nugget, Evan, after a woman delivered a girl. Did you really know that, or were you
I
joking?
saw that headline earlier, and and,
Oh,
and and so I was thinking about it. I told it because, oh man, I really don't want to talk about this, but I knew someone else who had a baby named Nugget. And we're gonna move on.
okay.
But I was sitting there after that thinking, how my mind works. Is like, what else would be McDonald's related that would even be fun? And I'm like, what else would they call the kid but Big Mac? I mean, what else would you call the kid
Well, if
if you
it
want
was a
to,
boy,
you know,
yeah, breakfast burrito.
cherry pie? I don't know.
They stopped so she could use the bathroom. She was hungry. So they had the baby right there in the fast food restaurant.
Cool.
A lot of I get. I'm sorry, I'm not ordering. I'd be like, can I just go ahead and have my money back? Evan, don't you ever accuse the TSA of catnapping on the job when an alert agent at New York's John F. K. Airport noticed tufts of orange fur poking out of the slightly unzipped suitcase. It gave him pause.
Oh, no.
Well, this lady was packing her bags, getting ready to leave. The cat notices it. So he stows away in one of her bags. It doesn't say if she had turned around and went home or... I mean, she had to. Wouldn't you?
Well, I guess I'll just leave my cat here.
Yeah.
No, I guess.
Can he live here? Like that dude that lived at the airport, man. People are just dropping everybody off at the airport.
Don't send it to the X-ray.
Here is another reason I don't want to live in like the Alaska wilderness or whatever. Alaska firefighters help rescue a moose trapped in a home. Look, I don't like when I have a mouse in the house. There I go rhyming again, Evan. But I don't.
Dr. Seuss would be so proud of you.
I know he would, but I sure don't want to try to shoo a moose. Get, you gonna get now.
No, back out through the door.
I'm sorry. I don't think my wasp spray is going to do anything to a moose.
No.
So
they're huge.
Yeah, huge as hell. They didn't shoot him. Here we can throw a picture of but he's a big boy. I'm going to tell you that.
I'm open the door and I'm going through it, and you find your way out. But I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I don't know how you. Oh man, I don't know why it took so many to get this guy, but it did. Now I got to see if I can move this. Oh, damn it! I'm trying to get it, and it ain't letting me. Well, shit. Don't worry about the moose.
Dang.
Yeah, sorry. They got him too far down. He's laying on the ground. He's not dead. He wasn't hurt or anything like that. So, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. Although there's not like snakes and big ass spiders up there you have to worry about, but do you really want a moose? And some of them moose are aggressive.
I always wonder, like, if you stay away from them, will they just leave you alone, or
I think most of the time they do, but I've seen some, some instances where, I don't know, man. It just, I can't mess with them.
No.
Oh, we do have an update on a story we did. I think it was a bozo criminal. The guy that went in to rob the bank and handed the teller his... he was arraigned and held because he was on probation at the time. So
he wanted to go back to jail.
Yep. So they did find him. They did find him because if you remember in the story, I think they said an arrest was pending. So... The only thing would have been better if he was on his way to pay his court fine or something. But that's there wasn't much news, so let's go ahead and end it with Mr. Dave Moreland's Bozo Criminal of the Day. This one is coming from Fort Wright, Kentucky, Evan.
What's he got for us?
Well, the cops here set up a prostitution sting at the local Days Inn. Didn't take long before they recognized our bozo, Chili442.
No.
No. Uh, what?
Driving a blue and white.
It didn't take police long before they noticed this guy who had been busted plying plying her trade previously. The story wouldn't merit mentioning except for one thing. Her John didn't give her cash, he gave her $100 Speedway gas card.
Um, I guess is that currency? I guess you're still busted.
Yes, she is still busted, Evan, charged with prostitution. See, I was just joking, but that kind of does sound like something you would have done back in your wilder days. Give a girl a gas card. Hey, here's a coupon for a free Speedway oil change. So remember, boys and girls, if
so smooth.
Do not pay for prostitutes with gift cards, it is still prostitution.
Yeah. No matter what, it's still prostitution.
Yeah, no matter what they tell you.
Cash, check.
Cash app, all that stuff, that's still...
Swipe your credit card between her tits, whatever. It's still prostitution.
Boy, that'd be weird. Here, you got to hit this slit before you hit this slit. It wasn't even... I did want to read this because this was kind of funny. I mean, it's not. It's not funny, but... After renegade nurse chops off man's foot, state finds heap of system failures. Officials in Wisconsin found a series of failures and federal violations at a nursing home where a renegade nurse cut off a man's foot without his consent and wanted to have it stuffed in her family's taxidermy shop and put on display to warn children to wear your boots in cold weather.
What, he had a little frostbite?
I guess. The nurse, Mary Brown, 38, has been charged with 2 felony counts of elder abuse in connection with illegal amputation. She is scheduled to appear in court on December 6th. The man died on June 2nd, 6 days after losing his foot. A nursing aide who spoke with the state investigator said the man really declined after his foot was gone.
Typical.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No doctor authorized or ordered an amputation of the man's foot, and as a nurse, Brown did not have the authority or the proper training to provide an amputation in any case.
She just wanted to stuff that thing.
Man.
Any excuse.
There's some ate up people out there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Sorry about your foot.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Joy Reid, oh my God. She always... Bruce Lee may have died from drinking too much water. I'm just reading some headlines I've been trying to...
He was shot.
Who, Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
I thought that was his son. That was
both
shot.
of them.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. And I'm a Bruce Lee fan. He only had...
they think it was the mob against him, or the Chinese. They didn't like him teaching and doing his thing.
No. Which I don't understand why. I mean, I don't get that shit. I don't know. I don't care. I mean, like, I think
they do.
I know, and I don't understand that culture thing, to hold on to something like that. And it's like, well, teach it to the rest of the world. You know, why not? We shouldn't be, keeping shit from each other. We should be growing. I don't know. I look at shit different. I look at it like we're all human. You know, just because we were born in different places and are sometimes the pigment of our skin is different. We all have the same organs and.
I'm with you.
But I know a lot of people don't think like that. So, yeah, I don't know. BC judge cancels marriage annulment after finding woman posing as ex-wife was an imposter. That probably isn't going to end well.
No.
Oh, man. I know when I said I was done with news, but I don't know how I can not do this story. I mean, because we are kind of like the Walter Cronkites of the internet.
Yeah.
When it comes to breaking news.
Hard-hitting breaking news.
Hot dog vendor stabbed in alleged turf war with another hot dog vendor outside Petco Park.
With a big hot dog fork.
Man.
Big long skewer that they were going at it with a couple of hot
dogs. Witnesses said a hot dog vendor from Los Angeles were set up in areas where San Diego hot dog vendors typically slang their wieners.
Big wiener turf war.
And it was, Evan. An altercation over territory ensued. 21-year-old was arrested for stabbing a person. And he's going to be okay. The guy that was stabbed. But this ended up being a large brawl. It turned into 10 to 15 people.
Wow.
Drew a crowd of thousands of people, though.
Big old sausage fest.
Man, you talk about wieners everywhere. I know some girls that would have loved it. Wieners flying, hitting them in the face. But
yes, indeed.
Man, I can't show these pictures because we'd get, but they're showing like some of the victims that are all like split up. And I'm like, damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they take their hot dog vending pretty serious at the. Well, I guess that would be pretty good money at a ball game.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably getting. You gotta think the markup on that shit. Probably $8-9 for a hot dog.
Yeah, they probably bring in some crazy money, more than you would think.
But yeah, I think that's it. They did hold the World Cup of Soccer with no beer. No beer. Oh, shit. Are we over?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say something, then I forgot.
Okay. Anyway, guys, hey, that's your free show, which they're all free. But this is the our Thanksgiving wrap-up weekend extravaganza. It's over. Back to business as usual next Monday, folks, or next Sunday.
Yeah. Right.
Then we got to start our Christmas shit.
Right. But this Wednesday, we are going to talk about what we're going to talk about.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought we knew. Okay, never mind.
Oh, we'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, peace. We love you. Be sure to check out the replay for Chili After Dark. See you Wednesday for the We Still Haven't Named This show. Evan, tell them bye.
Good night, everyone.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us.
In live stream, stop streaming. There we go. Boy, right. I sure didn't have much either.
Didn't have much.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that news page refreshed. Because when I looked at it earlier, there wasn't shit on there.
Well, we barely even got to the news. This very end.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we got Wednesday. I don't know. What the hell are we going to talk about Wednesday?
I thought we came up with an I thought, guess not.
I just don't remember if we did or not. And I just can't remember. I don't know. I kind of, we could have done Walmart and the impact Walmart has had on towns, but I think I got that out on my chest during that show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we gave them enough.
Yeah.
We hit them pretty hard.
Because, I mean, fuck, some of them towns you don't have any choice.
No. But, okay, back to it, though. To finish up, I mean, your Amazon now, it's just kind of that continuation of Walmart. It's just one of those things where everybody's buying all their stuff from one person, and that just is not sustainable to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I understand Amazon, other people buy and sell through it. It's, kind of like, they have their stores kind of like eBay and stuff like that. But man, it just all scares me, us losing retail, then you're just completely choked off,
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of are. And I mean, if Walmart don't carry it or Amazon don't carry it, I mean, and Amazon giving you free shipping and shit like that with like Prime and everything like that. It's like some of them small mom and pop places, they can't compete.
Yeah. Yeah. Not at that level. No, not when,
So
the post service getting subsidized, and they're delivering all that stuff for free, and we're paying for people to get their Amazon stuff delivered along with the postal service. And it's like, it's fucking nuts.
Right. I do like
it's brilliant on the dude's part. It's brilliant.
Right.
So
they just, like Carlin said, it's a small club and you're not fucking invited.
But I don't know. It's how we support it. We could choose, to support it or not. And just in my life, I've just avoided Walmart the best I can, best I could. And same with Amazon. Now, meeting my woman, she had an account and she's just like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh my God, it's too easy. That's the,
right. Right.
Oh, like the people that have gotten burnt on like the home shopping network and stuff, because it's just so, I just enter my PIN and boom, here my purchase is made. It'll come to the door. Look, a new present for me,
QVC. We were, that's another thing we saw, we kind of saw that come to life.
Is that still going?
Hell yeah, it is. They got QVC.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what channel it is, but yeah, I'm sure it's, I mean, now you're going to make me look.
Oh, I mean, I just didn't know if that still existed with like Amazon and everything else. I just didn't know if QVC, if people, there were still all these online shopping like that.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Hold on. Now I got to look, man.
Huh. Yeah.
QVC channel.
Really?
Yeah. And
I still think it's odd that we, going back to Sears with all their network that they had, their distribution, that like, look at how far ahead they were of Amazon and everything, and how all that just completely crumbled and fell apart. It's amazing that Sears is not a household name anymore like it used to be. In a couple of years, people are like, Sears, I've never heard of it,
Well, and we knew
first catalog store
ever. Right. And that was one of the best parts around like around Thanksgiving and everything, when you'd get that Sears wish list calendar that had all the toys in the back. Man, that was awesome. You sit there and you wrote out your list to Santa, and let's run back to this real quick. QVC is an American free-to-air television network and flagship shopping channel specializing in televised home shopping, owned by the QRG Curette Retail Group, founded in 1986 by Joseph Siegel. QVC broadcasts to date to 350 million households in 7 countries. So they're still up and running, Evan.
Huge. Okay.
So, yeah.
Did not know. It's
Oh,
one of those things. I don't have cable anymore. I don't sit there and flip channels. I used to run
right.
across that.
Right. And yeah, when I get cable for free, so I don't watch it. I still don't watch it. I still stream everything.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And especially I got a YouTube Premium. So they got YouTube movies on there for free. And man, there's some decent movies on there. So, I got a SmartCast TV where I just hit a button. I play it on my phone, I hit a button, and it broadcasts to my TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Works on porn too.
Oh, my.
Yeah, if you go to the right porns, And they write me a check, I'll put them down there. Pornhub.
Sponsored by.
Right. This episode of news is brought to you by Pornhub.
No, the other day we drove her sister's, I guess it's her husband, her other sister's husband, lived not too far from here, and they need help bringing this TV in. We brought this thing in. Oh my gosh, this TV is 84 inch.
Yeah.
And he said I really wanted the 120 inch. I'm like, that's a 10-foot diagonal.
Man,
how big of a TV do you need in a living room? This living room was not any bigger than your standard, living room. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
This thing was huge, and they needed help putting this thing on the stand. As they're holding it up, and as I'm holding up one end of it, and this thing has got to be 100 pounds, and they're bolting this little stand on there with these four little like number 6 screws. They're holding this whole thing,
yeah,
and it's like teetering, and I'm like, let's get out of here before this thing falls.
Man.
But I'm like, this is, how big of a TV do you need?
But you know what? Here's the thing, Evan. You pay actually less for a TV that size than if you would go and buy like a 32 inch. They're cheaper. I'm not going to say that one, but like I bought a 58 inch for what I would have paid. I figured I was going to go in and buy maybe, a 48, a 50 maybe. And the 58 was cheaper.
Well, this thing needed to be mounted on the wall, not on a stand, I don't know. It just, this little table with the stand and this giant ass TV on it. It just cracked me up, man.
What was funny was I remember all my friends coming over to my house when I moved out on my own because I had a 38-inch screen or a tube TV, and it was like one of the biggest TVs out. Besides the rear projection, you could get those projection ones.
Yeah, but the picture quality on those was not
horrible.
Great.
It looked like a blurry movie. I had like 3 or 4 buddies that their parents had those, and you could, if you didn't sit at like the right angle, it was. And for you that don't know what we're talking about, it was like. It was like a big TV, but then in front of it, it had like a box with a red, green, and what other color? Blue, maybe?
Whatever your 3' or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably red, yeah.
Yeah.
Red, blue, yellow, yeah.
So, and it had 3 of those, and I don't know. I just never, ever saw one that had a great picture.
No, and they got worse as time went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big I never got into that when I bought my house. I just bought my house, and I ran across a friend's dad at work, and he said, "Do you need a TV?" And it was like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, I had this one up on the message board. No one, so give me $300 for it. And it was a 36-inch Sony tube XBR. He said, I just bought a 42, and give me $300. Man, I brought that stone to my house. I lived in my house for 20 years, and that thing never gave me any problem.
No.
Finally, when I moved out, I gave it to a dude to just throw away because nobody wants that. Gave it to the scrapper with a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. I remember my grandma. And I should say, my 38-inch was like portable because like my grandma had a big TV, but I don't think it was that big. But it was in a big console, a big wooden console, and it
Mm-hmm.
actually had like a liquor cabinet in front. It was the shit from the 70s, man.
Oh yeah, I remember
I love
the
it.
console TVs. They were great.
Yeah. Yep.
They were made to be furniture and last.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, it's just wild to see where we're at now. And like I'm sitting here, in front of me, I got a 34-inch TV, flat screen as my monitor. So it's like, man, and
Well,
even
going
shit, just computers. The monitors were what, 10, 12 inches when the computers first came out.
oh yeah,
Didn't have
yeah,
any color. It was all green. It was
yeah.
dark green, and your letters that you typed and everything, they were light green.
Oh yeah, those were horrible. So I'm trying to think back. It was probably when I was in college. Yeah, my sister just married her husband, and he got a job working at Motorola. He was a guy's master's in electrical engineering from U of I, dude, wizard, And he was telling me, he's like, oh, working at Motorola. He's like, oh, we're working on this TV. These TVs are, someday it's gonna be flat, and you're just gonna hang it on the wall. And I was like, no way, Boom, it happened.
Yeah.
It was I had no idea, and I mean, that's how far back we're going.
Now,
Gosh, we're old.
and they're talking technology now within like the next 5 years, like instead of a TV, it'll be like a roll, and you just roll it out on your wall and plug it
Uh-huh.
in, and boom, whatever if you need a computer monitor, whatever. Uh, hey, I'm down for that. I'm down
Yeah,
for that.
they have keyboards like that. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Roll it out, and you can play.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I'm not one that fights technology. I do fight the electric car shit and all that bull crap on because and I'm glad the petroleum companies. I actually saw a commercial earlier that the petroleum companies are like, there's windmills in the background, and there's some dude like charging an electric vehicle, and it said, "Let us tell you, without the use of fossil fuels," and it started taking all the stuff out, which took the windmill blades, which are made by a petroleum resin, and like took all the plastic and everything off the cars and everything, and the guy was just standing there looking around. And it's like, yeah, that petroleum and shit, it does a lot
Yeah,
more than just fuel vehicles.
yeah. We can't make everything else out of soybean. Soybean plastic and shit. No.
No, not yet. And I mean, we'll get there. We're developing shit, but here's a problem. Sometimes the solutions to their problems make bigger problems that was bigger than what they were originally trying to fix.
Yeah, I think a lot of that with E85, taking all this corn to make ethanol to make a gallon of fuel. It's so wasteful, and what you're wait what you're the water you're using to grow the corn, the amount of energy it's they say you could feed a kid for a year on the amount of corn it takes to make a tank of
Right.
fuel. I mean, it's just a silly thing. It's like, and then he said, really, this isn't better for greenhouse gases. This
It's
is
not.
actually increasing,
Yeah.
water vapor and other shit or whatever. And it's like, well, who really knows? Of course, Um, but like you said, it's the solution is worse.
Yeah, and but once they do something like that, it's hard for them to pull back and say, "Oh,
Mhm.
we fucked up," because then you give room for people to question other things.
Mhm.
You know,
And then just gets to be part of the program and subsidized, and so the government subsidizes all these people to grow all this corn to make it. It's just whatever. Yeah, you're right. It just becomes
Yeah,
part of the system, and after a while, nobody
right.
questions anything anymore. Why are
No,
we doing this?
right. And it was like I was listening uh, Fauci on Meet the Press earlier, and Chuck Todd was sitting there. Oh, you caught a lot of slack for this and this, and then he was talking about the AIDS epidemic, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna get into this. He goes, well, you also caught slack for the AIDS epidemic, and look at the great things you did to that. And it was like, wait a minute, he killed a lot of people during that AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, he
He did
really
not.
didn't do anything good.
No, Fauci didn't. Was probably one of the, and I'm sorry, he's bought and paid for. I'm not
Yeah, but
saying by any party or anything, but he is.
I agree, but you can't say that.
I know. I just said it though. I don't give a fuck. You can't tell me he's not, man. There's two. There's a reason they called him Flip Flop.
Right, but there's still a large portion of the population that idolizes or worships the guy and thinks that everything that he did and all. Man, don't get me started.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that everything, he has done some great things. I think he dropped the ball on the AIDS epidemic. I think he dropped the ball on this, And I just, there's a lot to this COVID shit that I just got questions about.
Oh, there's lots of them.
And if you ask him now, you're some big conspiracy theory. But, I actually had put, I think it was the New York Post or New York Times had put a story out about the origins in the lab leak, and that got taken down.
Really?
And then
because they pretty much said it was from a lab that
yeah,
and they made a big joke of it, haha, and oh, we already knew that, whatever, and went on.
and now the more we're hearing about it, it's like, yeah, well, okay, you censored me, but now it's like pointing towards the lab leak. I never bought that bat theory shit.
No, but that's what they tried to say in the beginning.
Look, these scientists, they do some weird shit with, and
With proper funding.
right. And you got to think all these scientists, and this is what one thing I hate, because any scientist that said, "Hey, wait a minute, this don't look right," or "This don't look right," on anything, on climate change or anything, they get shut down.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not going to fund you anymore. So you got to go along with the shit that your bosses or whoever's telling you, even if it's not. Money has corrupted science.
Yeah. And there's major control on all this.
Yeah. And if you don't think it is, and if you think this is he's being paranoid. No, I'm not. I know what they're doing. I can't stop it. So why would I be paranoid about it? I just know what the game is.
Right.
And it's all about money.
Right.
Money and control.
You're awake, not woke. You're awake.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm far from woke. I'll never be woke. I don't want to cancel any comedian, but I don't know. We're just in different times where you cannot have an opposing view without being labeled, And I mean, if like Joy Reid off MSNBC sat there and listened to our podcast, she would sit there, oh, those are just two racist people that,
Racist?
Yeah. Oh, Joy Reid is a race baiter. Do you know who she is?
I think so. But
oh my God!
To label us, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it'd be.
What did I say?
Well, it's just because we think, the government doesn't do right. And I'm not saying they not. Look, there are good people in the government. There are good people everywhere. But the bad apples that we have in government, we don't seem to do anything about. on both sides. Some of them people haven't paid taxes in a long time. They should be fired immediately.
They're all protected, like back to the Carlin thing. It's one big club, and
you
you're
ain't
not
invited.
Yeah.
You ain't in it. Well, shit, Evan, where we at? 110?
Yeah.
Shit, we gave him an extra 20.
I guess we did.
Yeah. So we will get out of here. I am worn out. I'm going to put this on the website and the old YouTube. And then I think I'm going to call it a night.
Word.
Work in the morning. And although I'm kind of excited getting close to the Christmas tip time. Although, man, I've lost a lot of my big tippers.
That sucks.
Yeah. My old farmers that either, sold their farms, moved away, passed away. And I lost a few farmers this year that kind of made me sad. And, then you get new people in, they're never as good. But anyway, tell them bye, Chili.
All right. Once again, thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see you Wednesday, or at least hopefully next Sunday. But keep with us. Hope to see you Wednesday.
Yeah, I think they do, man. They come in on that Wednesday show. We had damn good numbers on that Wednesday show. I haven't checked them. Haven't checked them in a couple days, but not even 24 hours after putting that show, we had almost 100 views on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
what else are you gonna do on a Wednesday?
Nothing. Come check us out. Anyway, for Chili442 and myself, I am Al from D-Town, and this was the Al from D-Town Chili442 Show, episode 59, will be number 60, and then 9 episodes away from episode 69. Where I tell you some of my techniques.
We take things from a different look at a different angle.
Yes. Oh, man, I was going to say something pretty nasty, but I'm going to leave that one. Anyway, guys, we love you. Peace. Be good to one another. We'll catch you Wednesday.